Hola y bienvenidos a esta clase en la que vamos a hablar sobre los adjetivos demostrativos en español. Hello and welcome to this lesson in which we're going to talk about demonstrative adjectives in Spanish. What are demonstrative adjectives? Is a bit of a mouthful. Well, basically the adjectives that demonstrate which thing we're talking about. This one, that one over there, that's exactly what they are. Demonstrative adjectives, it's just grammatical jargon. You don't really need to know. The key thing is knowing, how do I say this? Well, depending on whether it's masculine or feminine, este o esta, or if I'm describing something that I don't actually know the gender of the word, esto, or something that doesn't have a gender, like a situation. ¿Qué es esto? What's this? Or if I'm at the stage in my Spanish where I don't need to go into English at all, I can defend, me defiendo, I can defend myself, we'd say in Spanish, I can get by, I can make myself understood, then it's really useful to say, ¿qué es esto? And point to something. I remember when I lived in Spain, I had a really good level of Spanish, but very academic Spanish, so I didn't know the name for a frying pan. So I said to my housemate, Checo, ¿qué es esto? ¿Cómo se llama esto? What's this thing called? What's this? In the plural, in English, we'd say these. It would be estos or estas. If I'm saying that, which generally in English, you might not have thought about this, but we say this if it's close to us or if it's in our hands, and that if it's a bit further away. Basically, just take the T away from the other ones. Ese, esa, eso. ¿Qué es eso? What's that? And those, in the plural, esos, esas. The same as estos, estas. We're just taking the T away. I don't know whether it was one of my students that said this or a comment on one of my TikTok videos or something, but I remember someone saying they remembered this as this and these have the T's. And that's a really useful little rhyme, an aide-memoire to help you remember that. And I guess for that and those, can we invent a rhyme? This and these have the T's, that and those, the T must go. Does that work? Maybe. That one over there, so if something's a bit further away, aquel, for a masculine noun, aquella for a feminine noun, or aquello for the unspecified thing. If I'm talking about those over there, so just the plural of that over there, it would be aquellos or aquellas. So there's a bit of a sound difference in aquel, we hear the L, aquella or aquella, or aquella if you're speaking like an Argentinian or Uruguayan, we've got a different sound because we've got the double L. Remember, it's almost like a completely different letter, it makes a different sound. So let's revisit that really important concept of not knowing what something is, so not knowing if it's masculine or feminine. If I want to ask what's this, I can ask ¿qué es esto? Or I can kind of move things around and say ¿esto qué es? This what is? ¿Esto qué es? ¿Qué es esto? Both work perfectly fine. This is very useful for Spanish learners when you get to a stage where you don't want to go into English or you're with people that only speak Spanish, so you can't say ¿cómo se dice sloth in español? No, you have to point to the sloth, and if it's over there, you wouldn't say ¿qué es esto? You'd say ¿qué es eso? Or ¿eso qué es? What's that? If I'm showing a picture of a sloth on my phone screen, I could say ¿qué es esto? ¿Esto cómo se llama? Or ¿cómo se llama esto? And once you know that it's un perezoso, then you could say, mira esta foto de este perezoso. Look at this photo of this sloth. Esta foto, because it's la foto, and este perezoso, this sloth. Who knows why we're talking about sloths? An example in a sentence where it's not so much that it's not a noun that I'm familiar with, but sometimes it's a situation. So situations, they don't have a gender, do they? They're just a kind of unspecified thing. So if I'm saying, we're not going to talk about that right now, I can say, no vamos a hablar de eso ahorita. No vamos a hablar de eso ahorita. We're not going to talk about that right now. Or, esto que siento no va a cambiar de la noche a la mañana. What I'm feeling, or this that I'm feeling, isn't going to change just like that. Sometimes with emotions, we might not be able to give it a name. Esta tristeza que siento, this sadness, esta felicidad, this happiness. If I know what it is, I can say este or este sufrimiento, this suffering, because it's el sufrimiento, este sufrimiento, la felicidad, esta felicidad. But if I don't really know what I'm feeling, I can't put words onto it. Esto que siento. And de la noche a la mañana is a really useful phrase. From the night to the morning. It's how we'd say, just like that, at the flick of a switch. Now, aside from talking about sloths and very intense emotions that we can't name, a very useful place where we might use this is in a shop, for example a bakery, where we don't know the names for all the different products they sell, so we resort to pointing and saying this one over there. If I go into the bakery, I might ask, hola, quiero uno de esos panes. Hi, I want one of those breads, literally breads. The baker might say, este, this one, este pan, no ese, not that one, sino aquel pan redondo, that round bread. Or if I don't know the word for round, aquello. No, aquello, sí, ese. Yeah, so pointing, this one, that one, this one, no, ese, Este? No, 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 no. Aquello. Este. Sí, 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 ese. We use these words a lot to talk about clothes as well. If someone asks me, ¿qué te vas a poner para la fiesta? What are you going to put on? What are you going to wear for the party? Creo que me pondré esta camiseta negra, as I hold it up or point to it. I think I'm going to wear this black t-shirt. Con esos vaqueros, with those jeans, or con esos blue jeans, if we're speaking Colombian Spanish. Y aquella chaqueta de cuero que me puse para tu cumple, si la encuentro. And that jacket, that leather jacket that I wore for your birthday, if I find it, because it's not in the room with us, I don't know where I've put it, I'm referring to it as something more distant. Aquella chaqueta. Esos vaqueros, those trousers, because they're on the chair over there, and it's this t-shirt because I'm pointing to it, I'm holding it in my hands, it's close. So this, that, and those over there, it's all to do with distance. So thinking about the distance, thinking about whether it's this, those, that, these, those over there, what I want you to do now in a moment is to pause the video y practiquemos. Let's practice. I want you to think about what goes in the gap, which demonstrative adjective do I need to use to fill in the gap. If you can write these down, perfect. If not, do them in your head and try and remember. And when you're ready, press play and we'll go through the answers. So, ¿cómo se dice what's this here called? ¿Cómo se llama esto aquí? ¿Cómo se llama esto? What about that red scarf? Esa bufanda roja. These black shoes. Estos zapatos negros. I don't like that type of blouse. Ese tipo de blusa no me gusta. Or no me gusta ese tipo de blusa. That short sleeve t-shirt over there. Esa o aquella camiseta de manga corta. So sometimes esa, aquella, either one sounds fine. Aquella implies more distance. En este momento, in this moment, so right now, en este momento, that's it, mate. Eso es, amigo. Eso es. That's it. You hear that quite a lot. Eso es. Especially if you're trying to encourage someone. ¿Qué es esto? What's this? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Esto qué es? What's this? Just a quick reminder to hit that like button if you found this video useful, if you found it interesting. It's just a click of a button or a tap of the screen for you, but it really means a lot to me and it helps me to know which videos people have found most useful as well. Also, if you have any comments, please do use the comment function below. You can say something that you learned, something that you found a bit difficult, and again, it will help me to plan future videos. And if you haven't already done so, please do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the future videos that I'll be posting. If you really don't want to miss out on any of them, you can also turn on notifications.